Welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel, everyone. I'm John, your host, and whoa. What a Wednesday. I cannot believe the shit that is going on now, folks. The fraud attempts are the same as last time, but now they're being caught. Now they're being reported. Now they're being arrested. Now they're being exposed before the election. Complaints are being made to the police, district attorneys, attorney generals. People are doing exactly what you and I have talked about, and that's terrific. Absolutely terrific. If you are at a voting machine and your vote gets swapped, call the police, call 911 right there and get a report started. File a report. A policeman tries stopping you from voting, call his supervisor, call 911 and say election interference by someone pretending to be a cop is going on, or a so-called election official. Democrats are posing as election officials, telling people they can't vote. These fucking people are absolute scum. Scum. All right, everybody, we're going to get into it. We're going to get into it a whole lot more. Yeah, we're garbage. We're garbage. I hope you enjoyed the tweets that I did on Twitter and also my posts that I put on Facebook. No. YouTube. Jolene's in charge of the Facebook. But yeah, I mean, essentially the question was, and I put Oscar the Grouch, the guy from Sesame Street that lives in a garbage can. I said, if he is garbage, right? If I'm garbage, what is Hunter Biden? The man who marries his dead brother's wife, then cheats on dead brother's wife with a stripper, knocks up stripper who has a baby, and Hunter Biden refuses to pay child support, and Joe Biden refuses to acknowledge the existence of his granddaughter. What a bunch of pieces of shit. Now, folks, I'm going to give you a little look into what's going on, what they're trying. They're getting caught in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. There's a homeless men's shelter where many people are registered to vote as if they're homeless. What they discovered, though, is that address, a homeless men's shelter, they have far more people registered to vote from there than they even have beds. Yeah, folks, I'm telling you. Now, get this. Democrat voter fraud is going on right now. Look it up everywhere, folks. And I say, stop them. Stop them at our local polls when we see them. File complaints with the police when you see it. Now, in Michigan, after reviewing the QVF, which is the qualified voter file of votes actually cast as of yesterday, Tuesday, on October 29th, the database in Michigan identified 114,000 Michigan voters who have cast 279,000 ballots from different addresses all across the state. So in other words, 114,000 people voted more than 2 times. That is, folks, an incredible number. An additional 165,000 ballots cast. 165,000 excess ballots in one fucking day. That's what Democrats are doing because they're absolute scum. They are scum. They're not garbage. They're filth. They're refuse. They're alligator shit. They're low. Now, speaking of low, Kamala Chameleon. Guess what? The flip-flopping hoe Kamala now wants to deport illegal immigrants. Did you know that? You bet she went on the campaign trail and told everyone she wants to deport these people. Well, now that they're out voting for her everywhere they can get away with it, of course she's done with them and will discard them the same way the government discards us after allowing in 20 million illegals who are terrorists, drug dealers, murderers, thieves, and rapists into our sacred nation. Now Kamala is going to pretend to be all patriotic and shit. Unfreaking believable. Do you see what's coming? Do you know why you need to be prepared? I do. I feel it in my bones. From my balls to my bones, I feel it. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. That is how we make it through this shit. I am suspecting that there is going to be violence on the streets at polling places very soon. Yesterday, Republicans were turned away from voting the polls by police, and they had it explained to them by a Democrat who was not an election judge or an election official or an election worker, just a Democrat who was wearing a phony look-alike, kind of a wannabe badge, a wannabe identification to make them look official. Right? They closed the polls early. Guess what? In less than 24 hours, Donald Trump, his attorneys, went to the judge at that county and said, this shit is a violation of law. And it is. It's a violation of the Pennsylvania election code. And they were told they will open those polls, and those polls will stay open. Take down the badge number of any cop, anyone. Get their license plate. Whoever fucks with us, they need to be exposed and presented to the police. Not the police that's messing with people at the voting stations. You call 911 on the phone right then. Folks, this is no fuck around time. 911. Hello, police. I'd like to report a crime in progress. Give them the address. They have to come out. If you make a complaint, they have to come out and take a police report. That's right, folks. In Virginia, Winsome Sears, lieutenant governor, I believe, right? Republican, black woman, hardcore conservative. Guess what? They got 1,600 people off their voter rolls who were shouldn't have been there. So a judge in Virginia, a very liberal, America-hating black woman, said, no, Virginia, you go right ahead. You put those people back on your voter rolls. Well, the Supreme Court listened to Donald Trump's attorneys, and within 2 days has got a ruling. The Supreme Court says Virginia can remove those non-citizens from voter rolls. Folks, that's 3 communist, America-hating liberal justices who dissented on the United States Supreme Court. And you think Kamala Harris won't pack the court full of more scumbags like Sotomayor? Absolute scumbags. Unbelievable. Now, I'm a little bit pissed off, but I'm not committing violence. I'm not committing any acts that are dangerous or harmful. No. But these scumbags out here, these Democrats, these pieces of shit, like the political whore Kamala. Well, Joe Biden said we're garbage. So political whore Kamala comes out and defends Joe Biden after he called all of us, millions and millions and millions of us, garbage. Patriotic Trump supporters, patriotic Americans are garbage, right? And Kamala is going to defend Joe Biden. This is coming from a woman, folks, who spent hours and hours and hours under Willie Brown's desk. And he was married too. That's right. She's a home wrecking hoe. She spent lots of hours under Willie Brown's desk getting her political street cred so she could be a Democrat. She was willing to do whatever it took to get political power. And she's trying to get to be the president of these United States, folks. Now, they can call us garbage. They can attack us. They can throw away your yard signs. They can destroy your property. They can try and stop you from voting. They can get in your way. They can even arrest you for telling other people to vote. But if you're on TV, if you're a newsman, you can get fired, folks, for making a comment in your private life that's political. Yep, indeed. In the city of Biloxi, Mississippi, a TV newsman told Kamala Harris supporters to, quote, stay home and don't vote if you don't know what she stands for. So he's fired. 35 years of TV news service to his local community in Biloxi, Mississippi, because he had an opinion that he wanted to share. He did not call Kamala voters garbage. He didn't call Kamala a hoe. He didn't do anything other than say, stay home and don't vote if you don't know what she's about, what she stands for. Crazy, right? Go ahead. Call Trump Hitler. Call Americans Nazis. Call us deplorables and garbage. And even worse. But don't you dare suggest that voters go figure out who Kamala Harris is and what her policies are. Do you see that shit has hit the fan? Do you see that we have a Nazi fascist regime, a Nazi communist regime in Washington, D.C., trying to steal this election from you, trying to take our rights because they're going to say, well, we won the election, so therefore everything we do is acceptable. It's not how this shit works, folks, but they're going to do it. They're going to try it unless we go out there and get active, get involved, vote, and stop the cheat, stop the steal. Now, let me give you some more examples of some bullshit that's going on. Even here in my great state, my hometown, my home state of Florida, a teenager, that's right, folks, a Florida teenager decided he was going to take a machete and go to a polling station and start intimidating voters with it. Now, in Florida, he could have been shot for threatening people's lives. He wasn't, but he was arrested. I wish I could have been there to help detain him. Right? I mean, is the evidence that I presented so far evidence of intimidation, interference, and cheating? Is that evident enough to all of us that that is exactly what's happening? To me, it's 100% evidence. And we're still, what? Today's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, plus the rest of today. Right? We've got a week left of voting. I really like the idea of voting one day of the year on a paper ballot, providing a legitimate photo ID proving you live where you live. Woo! I tell you. Let's continue, if we shall. Get down below what you want to talk about, folks. What you want to talk about. We got some crazy shit. We have some absolutely crazy shit going on. I wish I could talk about something other than voting. So, well, hell, let's do it. Darcy T wrote in, said, how many unexpected deaths have to occur before they, meaning coroners and doctors, before they start looking into it? Not saying that every death is caused by the Jim Jones juice, but it wasn't happening to this extent prior to the juice. Exactly, 100%. Now, over in Europe, Darcy, people are protesting outside of UN buildings, outside of government healthcare buildings. And the big protest is outside of Pfizer headquarters in Europe. Thousands of people calling them murderers, demanding justice for all of the people who suffered from unexpected deaths. Right? Here's an example, right? 30-year-old basketball player dies, age 30. Basketball player, age 30. The name? Bridget Rose Schumacher of Nebraska. Passed away unexpectedly October 25th. Died at Avera Sacred Hospital Heart in Yankton, South Dakota. Unbelievable, folks. They're going to continue. It's going to continue. The deaths are going to continue. And they're going to continue to push. I mean, at this point now, if you're continuing to get the Jim Jones juice and juice boosters, You really are going to get what you deserve. It's sad, and I don't want people hurt. I really don't. But it's going to happen. It truly is. What do you want to talk about? Tell me down below, folks. And we're going to continue right here. You guys get the second half of the show. I get the first 15 minutes. So questions, in all caps as well. If you have to rewrite them, rewrite them. Now, predictive programming or just getting ready to cheat? I find the timing fascinating. A local ABC news station in Pennsylvania accidentally leaked a test election results headline at the bottom of the screen, right? One of those stamps, kind of like I've got this, scrolling thing. They had a scrolling, headline popper at the bottom showing Kamala Harris winning over Trump by 4 or 5% with a check mark by Kamala. They mistakenly leaked a test right there onto live TV. Kamala Harris, the winner. Folks, this is not an accident. You know why that happened? Because a whistleblower at the news station was probably pissed off that they're planning on cheating. Right? Why wouldn't they have a test one made of Trump? Trump winning 53-46. Why not have that? Because they need to get ready to have the win set up for Kamala. You bet. You betcha. Just there's no end to this shit, folks. It is hitting the fan. There is going to be violence. Republicans are ultimately going to have enough of this shit. The evidence is already over my head and drowning me. The reports I'm getting, messages, emails, texts of the cheating that's going on, it's too much. It's over the top, and I'm glad every last one of you are watching it, reporting it, sharing the news items with one another. Everyone, not just here on The Prepared Mind, but share them with friends, family, loved ones. Say, hey, the cheat is on. They're trying to cheat. If you love your freedoms and your rights, you better go vote for Trump. And Democrats are voting for Trump, folks. Independents are voting for Trump. I wonder if illegals are voting for Trump. But Kamala and the Democrat machine are screwing everyone over. Everywhere they can, as fast as they can, as early as they can. Even though Trump in these places is ahead in the polls, they're trying to keep it close enough that they can cheat at the very end. Now, speaking of complete assholes, Arnold Schwarzenegger. At one time, he was a man I really looked up to because he never quit. He never gave up. He worked really hard, and his success was related to his work ethic. But then he turned around a couple of years ago and he said, screw your freedom. Remember, he was supposed to be a Republican. Supposed to be a Republican. I'm looking here to see if I can find him. Screw your freedom, huh? Yeah. I tell you, he's a special kind of guy. Screw your freedom. He has endorsed Kamala. That's right. Arnold Schwarzenegger, former Republican governor of California, says, screw your freedom. Vote for Kamala. Why should we vote for Kamala? He'll give you nothing. But the Terminator is terminating his acting career right now. If it wasn't done already, I don't watch Schwarzenegger movies, folks. And a lot of them I really loved. I think they're great movies. But I'm not gonna reward him for hating this country and for trying to get a fascist installed as president. That's what Kamala is, a Nazi fascist. And I think we're going to have to start asking the question again. Arnold Schwarzenegger's father lived during World War II in Austria, right next to Germany. Was he a Nazi soldier or officer? I believe that came up when he was running for governor in California. We've got trouble, folks. We've got trouble. So, fuck you, Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm bigger than you and I'm younger than you. But hey, even Democrats are endorsing Trump. I know they've got their reasons. They're losing in the polls. They need to bolster their polls with independents in their little districts. So they'll say, I'm voting for Trump because they want votes. They want people to think they're moderate Democrats, as if there's any such thing as a moderate government thief or a moderate government murderer. But Arnold, even Democrats are endorsing Trump, right? So you, Mr. Schwarzenegger, you are owned, you are a slave, and I don't admire slaves even 1%. Because he is a slave to them. He sold out. Whatever he did, I don't know, but he sold out. And now they own his ass. Literally. They own his ass. Owned. Done. Can you imagine that? I wonder what he did. I wonder. What did Schwarzenegger do? What did he do that they own him and he has to do their bidding and repeat their lies? Makes me wonder. Maybe that'll come out next. Now, get this, right? Joe Rogan interviews Trump. He interviews Trump. Spent 3 hours with the man live. I think the most watched broadcast on Joe Rogan's show. And YouTube decided they were going to take it down. No, we can't have that many people learning that Trump is a decent fella, that he's relatable. Nope. Not going to do it. Can't allow that. So it's all over the rest of the internet, folks. When you find it and you find a link to it, share it with your friends, family, coworkers, etc. Now, I know that my coworkers and my bosses do not watch this live. Maybe a couple of them watch it live, like right now live, but it'll go on to YouTube tomorrow. One of my bosses is going to get a prank pulled on him for Halloween. That's right. We're going to prank him. So we're all going to get skull caps. So we look like Dr. Evil or Jeff Bezos. And then we're supposed to put on a baseball hat because he's bald and he wears a baseball hat. And so we're going to kind of dress like him. And there's a big prank that's going to be played. I'll be wearing my Trump Make America Great Again hat. And we're going to find out in my office at my company how many people are triggered because that's the only hat I have in my truck. And if you can't let me wear a hat, we got some kind of a problem. In other words, I'm going to go piss in someone's Cheerios and find out who my enemies are at work. I'm going to have a good time with that one, folks. I'll let you know how that goes. I will. I'll let you know how that goes. Remember how Biden was the great uniter? He's the great uniter. He called Trump voters. He called me and you garbage, and he's the great uniter. And then Kamala backs him, calls Trump a tyrant, right? A Nazi, a Hitler. Fuck these hypocrites. I use this anger as energy so I can go fight them and protect this election and protect my country and protect all you guys. Right? I've had it. Hillary calls us deplorables. Obama says we cling to our guns and Bibles. Nancy Pelosi says, don't laugh at my husband because he's got a hammer in his ass. Chuck Schumer puts cheese on a raw hamburger on a barbecue. What a fucking Nimrod. These people are not real. They're not real. They're fake. They're fake. Right? Jenna Griswold. She's, I think, the Secretary of State for Colorado. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. She accidentally leaked passcodes and passwords to the voting machines in Colorado, accidentally leaked them. Now she's been asked. She went on the media, mainstream media, and the news dude was like, "Are you going to resign over that?" "Oh, I don't think so. It's just as an accident." I mean, do you ever accidentally leave your name and passwords just out for everyone to get? She fucking leaks them onto the internet. Leaks them onto the internet. Unbelievable. Thank you, Mr. Skylight, for all you do and for getting the information on the backside, the Joe Rogan thing, as well as imminent threat intelligence. I got those today. Oh, man, there's just so much to do, folks. So much to do. It's too much. It's almost too fucking much. I hope you guys have got your questions down below. I'm going to go grab them here in a few minutes. Put them in all caps if you got more questions and follow-ups. We're going to have some fun. You bet. Uman is taking care of some business. Jolene is doing some business. So I'm here taking care of everything on my own. I'm glad you guys are with me. Folks, we've got a lot to talk about. A lot to talk about. Like Twinkle Toes, Tampon Timmy, Tim Walz. He has now come out and defended Joe Biden's garbage comment about you and I. Oh, the newspapers are trying to remove it. They're trying to say, no, he was talking about one person, right? They're playing with apostrophes. They're trying to say he didn't say it, even though the very first time I heard him loud and clear. I didn't have to listen to it a few times. I didn't have to put a filter on there to try and take out other noises. It was obvious exactly what he was saying. So now Twinkle Toes Timmy from the horse barn, who likes foreign exchange students, little boys, and apparently, allegedly likes young women from China. How interesting is this, right? Now, a CBS reporter basically nuked him. I'm talking about nuked Tim Walz. Because there's a history of dehumanizing language toward Trump and the supporters. Now, folks, there's calling us names. And then there's taking action against us. Calling us Nazis, white supremacists, right? Attacking white people, attacking Republicans and conservatives, saying we cling to our guns and Bibles, calling us deplorable, saying they want to put us in re-education camps and concentration camps. But they already have taken action. The United States government has authorized the Department of Defense. They've given them a new directive to allow the U.S. military to be called to duty and serve in federal, state, and even local police activities. And they are authorized to use deadly force on you and me and our families, our loved ones in our communities. That's what the government, the United States government in Washington, D.C., thinks of us. Years ago, they said that patriots, Tea Party members, people who were conservative, they called them domestic terrorist threats. They were put on watch lists. They used the IRS to attack groups like the NRA and like the Tea Party. They said that veterans, people who served in the military, served the country, served you and me to protect us. They say that veterans are domestic terror threats. And then they literally, folks, called parents. The Department of Justice, the Attorney General's office, designated parents of children by merely being parents and not liking your children being groomed for homosexual activities, groomed for pedophilia, being exposed to communist trash, being exposed to transgenders and drag queens. If you oppose that, the Department of Justice under Merrick Garland inside the White House where Kamala Harris was at, they said you are domestic terrorists for opposing these people who will destroy your children and use them as sex toys. That's how fucking sick the Democrats are. And they want to call us garbage. Now, we got a lot of stuff coming out. We got a lot of stuff. I'm going to do this, though. I'm going to back off. I'm going to let you guys get some thoughts in before I lay right back into what's happening in Washington, D.C. Stand by for more. Here we go. I'm going to start with Orlando. My good friend Orlando. How are you, brother? He says, John, if something should happen to 45 is Donald Trump. Removal, execution, assassination, arrest, whatever. Wouldn't his vice presidential pick take over either way? They, meaning Democrats, wouldn't automatically try to take over. They'd have to deal with the VP. Now, 45, if elected, becomes 47. Am I correct? I think so. Anyways, if that were to happen, I don't know. I've never considered it. In fact, Orlando, that's a fantastic stinking question. But here's the deal. Trump is elected. He cannot be inaugurated. Now, if he's elected, but it's not certified on January 6th, who do they certify? My best guess is that the people elected this ballot, Trump, Vance, president, vice president. They're both, they're not just nominees, right? They are president and vice president elect. Right, we've heard that term between the election and the inauguration is president-elect, president-elect, president-elect. They want everyone to get used to calling him president, but they're president-elect until the inauguration. My best guess, and I'm sure the Supreme Court would rule, unless there's some obscure fucking note that I missed somewhere, that it would go to J.D. Vance. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if Democrats didn't say, hey, this is terrible. Can't we all just get along? What happened to the unity in this country? Gee whiz, we need to all step back and take a breath and let's have another election. And it'll be Kamala versus Vance. Folks, Vance would destroy Kamala. If they went that route and didn't just inaugurate Vance, he would destroy Kamala in a debate, campaigning, because Kamala's not going to change who she is. She is a sellout, for sale hoe. She's not going to get smarter or brighter. But I think all Trump voters, Americans, would be so freaking pissed if they assassinated, executed, removed, arrested Trump. They'd be so fucking pissed that even more people would get out and vote. And in other words, it's a rejection of this status quo. And the status quo is Washington, D.C. and the deep state assholes. I tell you, folks, there's just so much going on out there. So much going on. Orlando, that's a great thing. Somebody take a look into it. See if I'm correct. Find out, yeah. If between the election and the inauguration, what happens if a president dies? Chokes on a hot dog. Very interesting stuff. Anyways, let us continue. I'm scanning and scrolling down through the comments. And go ahead. Get your questions down below. And Mikey G has checked in. And he says, was there another attempt on Big Orange? To my knowledge, no. To my knowledge, no one else has taken a shot at Trump, tried chopping him up with a machete, tried stabbing him, poisoning him. But I'm waiting because allegedly some surface-to-air missiles were smuggled across the southern border. Not too hard to do these days with Kamala in charge. Smuggled some surface-to-air, shoulder-launched missiles. And the threat was that they're going to try and shoot down Trump. Shoot down Trump Force One. It's not like it's hard to find his plane. It's got his name on the side of it. But they're also threatening, Trump is. It's not really a threat. It's more of strategizing, having multiple planes and people not knowing which plane Trump gets on. I mean, I would rather have the odds of me being hit by a missile to be 1 in 5 rather than 1 in 1 if someone were to manage to get one of these close to the airport and then fire it. But yes, to my knowledge, there's not another attempt on Big Orange. That's correct. So, hey, questions down below. Let's do this. And hey, Mr. Diving Frog says, he's got a quick one here. He says, John, don't you mean we veterans are bad for them? Oh, yeah. Yeah, we veterans. We, me, you, all of us. We're all bad for the country. We're dangerous. We're a threat. We're a domestic terror threat, says the Democrats, says Obama, says Hillary, says Biden, says Kamala, says the Attorney General, says the FBI, says everyone in government. They're afraid of us. Understand that, and that's a good thing. Fear is a good motivator to keep them in line. Their fear in Washington, D.C. of people like me and you is great. That fear is what is known in law and government as a deterrent. There are tens of millions of us veterans and patriots, and there's not very many of them. And so they're very fearful of us. Very fearful of us. We're bad for them? No, no, no. We're bad for criminals. We're bad for tyrants. We're bad for unconstitutional organizations. That's what we, the veterans, and we, the patriots, and we, the sportsmen, that's what we are. That's how we're bad for them. Now, President Trump, on the other hand, does not think that. Nor does J.D. Vance, his vice presidential nominee. J.D. Vance was a United States Marine also. And, folks, a U.S. Marine veteran was killed by a cartel-hired hitman. He was assassinated, folks. I'm going to give you his name. Nicholas Douglas Quets. Quets. I got a picture here that came from News 4 in Tucson, Arizona. He's a U.S. veteran, folks. Shot dead by a gunman in northern Mexico. One good reason not to go across the border. Folks, I love the Mexicans. I do not love criminals, drug cartels. Let's see. All the criminals down there. They come up here and kidnap women, kidnap children, and sex traffic them. They're fucking awful. But Nicholas was shot to death on October 18th, just a few days ago. He was at the, it says he was in a border state of Sonora, Mexico. He was right up there on the border. And so what do we know about that? Well, on top of that part, folks, right? Politicians in Arizona, the United States of America, completely ignored the story, completely ignored it. He wasn't just an American. He was an American. He wasn't a nobody. He was a Marine, right? Unbelievable. Well, guess what? Right? The Ketz family told the CBS affiliate he was a Marine Corps veteran. He had a wide circle of friends, according to his dad, and all the politicians completely ignored this. Now, why is that important? Well, Donald Trump and Senator J.D. Vance met with the Ketz family, and no one else in politics did. President Trump posed with the family, a picture of the deceased, Nicholas Douglas Ketz. It's very sad, folks. Now, he could have been a regular American, sure. A non-veteran, sure. It'd be just as important. But this shows you the disdain that American politicians have for our veterans, whether they're soldiers, airmen, seamen, or Marines. They didn't pay any fucking attention. They want to call on us, you, your children, your grandchildren, to go fight in wars overseas to make them rich, to increase their retirement fund. Right? They start these wars so they can enrich themselves and their friends and their family. These politicians do that. They tell us it's to protect America, to protect freedom, to help other people find freedom, and then they just screw us over. What was all that money spent in Afghanistan? All those lives lost. All the Marines I've met with PTSD from fighting over there. I wish you could understand it the way I do. You know, having someone melt down in front of you because of what they saw and what they had to do. It's tough. It's hard, folks. Right? Another veteran I know, and he's white right here today. I'm sure he'll be watching, if not later, right now. He ran into a World War II Marine veteran he was out with his daughter. And this old guy, Marine, you know, he shared his story with my friend. And he had someone to talk to, and that's all he really wanted. He was lonely. Right? People that love America, they're here. Right? This veteran, by the way, was 90 years old. And it was, my friend said he was sharp as a tack, had all his faculties. There's just really strong, good men and women out there who have served this country, and they're treated like shit by Washington and by Democrats and even a lot of the Republicans. They just don't care. They don't understand. To them, it's a fucking joke. But to Trump, that's beautiful. Right? Both Trump and Senator, Vice Presidential nominee Vance, right? They were in Arizona. They heard about Nicholas. They heard about him being ambushed. And they met with the family and posed with them. And I just think that's a wonderful thing. Wonderful. All right. I really appreciate you stepping in, Badass Diving Frog. But let's do it. Let's do another one. Here we go. Badass Diving Frog is back. He said, John, thinking of criminals in Congress and the Senate, I believe Bitch Turtles McConnell was accused of smuggling coke in his private yacht every week. Wouldn't surprise me. Yes, the surprising revelations and alleged accusations. It wouldn't surprise me. Folks, the Clinton administration was questioned at the White House over the government, the Central Intelligence Agency, delivering cocaine into our country through an airport in Mena, Arkansas, while President Clinton was Governor Clinton and Hillary Clinton was, first governor's lady or whatever the fuck they call it. Right? That was admitted. I cannot remember the old lady's name, but she was a member of the Presidential Press Corps from probably back when Abraham Lincoln was around. Helen something or another. But she asked the question, and the fucking press secretary answered it right up, straight up, basically admitted, yeah, coke. It's all over the place. Yeah, it came through me in Arkansas. Da, 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 da. So it wouldn't surprise me if piece of shit Mitch Turtles McConnell did. Anyways, he's resigning. And he pulled a Joe Biden yesterday All he had to do is take one step up onto a little platform so he could speak from a podium. Wiped out. These people spend their entire lives in Washington, D.C., screwing us over, screwing each other in their ugly folks orgies, and who knows what else they do with pizza and hot dogs and people they've got locked in cages in their offices. They are a bunch of sick fucking freaks. All of their staffers. I have it on very, very, very good authority that most of the men in Washington, D.C. are flaming salad shooting freaks. Bunch of fruitcakes. Twinkle toes, light in the loafer, skinny jeans wearing freaks. That's what Washington, D.C. is. Because, well, I guess that's what most politicians like. Just ask Adam Schiff or Kevin McCarthy. Ask them. I'm sure we'll find out at some point. Now, let's do this. Let's get the old Charlanator up here. If you got some questions, get them on the comment section. Try and make them all caps. Makes them easier for me to find. Charlanator says, do you think there will be an election day violence? Do you think there will be election day violence, or is that just a bunch of fear mongering? Charlanator, I expect violence, if not tomorrow, certainly over the weekend. The Democrats know where they're losing. That's why they were shutting down voting polls, trying to tell people, I mean, literally, this is their excuse. It's an arduous, long task to get in. So it's taking too long to vote, so we're going to shut it down. Oh, since we can't get votes done quick enough, we're just going to cancel all the fucking voting. That makes perfect fucking sense, doesn't it? There's people standing right there at the door trying to get in, and there's a fucking cop standing in the way saying, nope, we're done voting. We're done voting. Come back tomorrow. Fuck you. That guy should be fired. Fired. Not reassigned. Fired for violating people's rights and violating election law. That's election interference. I think he should be charged with a crime. There is nowhere in the fucking election code that says if things aren't going as fast as everyone wished they were, you have to shut everything down. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The violence is coming. They know where the Republicans are voting. Folks, they know every single congressional district in the whole country. They know how many Republicans are registered. They know how many Democrats are registered. They know where they're going to lose. They know where it's close. And so where they're losing, but it's close, they're going to cheat their asses off. You think that BLM, you think that Antifa won't be told where to go? Hey, scumbag, loser, communist, piece of shit college kids. You need to go over there. You need to go to District 6 and start causing trouble. I wouldn't doubt that for one fucking second. That's exactly what they would do. Exactly what they would do. You bet. You fucking bet your ass they will. In Washington, they're going to burn more ballots, which is funny because that's Antifa zone there, and they want to destroy all government. In some places, that's like the most radical place in America, the Washington SeaTac area for these Antifa fucks. Right? They don't like anybody, even themselves. They hate themselves. Bunch of losers. Anyways, yeah, folks, they're going to do it. Violence has already started. I told you about the teenager with a machete in Florida, right? Oh, let's see, a vehicle with Rhode Island plates, I believe, showed up in Pennsylvania to drop off thousands of ballots. Why would someone from Rhode Island be driving to Pennsylvania to turn in ballots? Since when does that make a lick of fucking sense? The cheating. And I really believe that Republicans at some point are going to have enough of this shit. And it could get nasty, folks. It could. It absolutely could. Now, let's go back over to Badass Diving Frog. He says, John, just in case, we're preparing for Calamageddon here. Kamala-geddon. I've been prepared for Kamala-geddon, Clinton-geddon, Biden-geddon, Obama-geddon, any geddon. I recommend you do as well. I know a lot of people now are feeling despondent. I'm feeling very confident Trump is going to just decimate that bitch. Destroy Kamala, sweep the country, and even make New York and California close. I don't think they'll win them, or Illinois, but I think it's going to be much closer than the Democrats ever imagined it could be, because Kamala has pissed off all Republicans, pissed off the independent voters, and even pissed off a lot of Democrats, because she is a hypocrite. She's a liar. She's an idiot. She doesn't have policies. She can't answer the fucking questions. And all they have left now, they've lost all the arguments, all the debates, and as losers, all they have left is slander. So I am supremely confident Trump will win, but I don't want to take any fucking chances. I don't want this to be remotely close. I want it to be so thorough, the win so big that Kamala has no choice but to bow down and say, Trump, you won. Congratulations. Right? She wanted to be all cute and shit during the fucking debate and walk over and shake Trump's hand. I wouldn't have shook her hand. Fuck her. She's an awful human being, folks. I'm going to give you a little bit more evidence. Who would know better? Me, you, or someone who is a White House advisor? Who would know more about Kamala than you and me? Someone who is actually a former White House advisor says Kamala wants to start in our country, in our nation, in the United States of America. She wants to start a civil war. You bet. This was published in the Guardian. This was published in the Guardian. The United States today is once again headed for civil war. Stephen Marsh, author of The Next Civil War, says that American society has just entered its most dangerous political state yet. Ray Dalio, billionaire, founder of the world's largest hedge fund, also sees the risk of a second American Civil War growing when he said, quote, "We are now on the brink. No matter if you're Democrat, Republican, or independent, we can all sense that America is barreling towards catastrophe of one kind or another. That's why a recent poll showed that almost half of Americans think a civil war is likely." And according to former advisor to the CIA, the Pentagon, and the White House, Jim Rickards, who I'm very familiar with, said the catastrophe is coming this election season after correctly predicting the Great Recession of 2008, Trump's 2016 election, the COVID bullshit crisis of 2020, and Biden's recent dropout, right? This is incredible, folks. This is incredible. A lot of people say civil war is coming, right? Civil war potential is coming. Now, let us go back to Charlene here. We talked about this. Election day violence or just a bunch of fear mongering. Half of America, both Republicans and Democrats, think we're coming close to a civil war. Economists, financiers, investment leaders, politicians, and pundits. I would fall under satirical pundit, if you will. We see, all of us, the potential for civil war. Mikey G says a partisan war. You see, my worry, my fear is, the 10-mile radius around where I'm at. After that, I'm concerned about the county, then my state, and then not the country, then my geographic region, right? My neighboring states. The best defense I have against having my state overrun by fucking federal goons and United Nations scumbags, and maybe even other foreign national armies, the best defense against that is a good defense and having strong neighbors around us. Oh, it's coming, folks. It's coming. Are you prepared? Are you prepared? I sure hope you are. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. For hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, mudslides, floods, mass coronal ejections, asteroid impacts, communist infiltration, illegal immigrants, whatever is going to cause the nightmare. It's the same things, the same items that we need to be prepared. And this one is the most important. Without this one, you can't defend anything else. Right? And also, before we go here, banks are on the brink of failing. And if you've got silver and gold with any excess wealth, it would be advisable to buy it now. Silver took a breather today. It's been up, I think, 40% this year. 40%. Sounds like that beats the stock market, don't you think? What else is up this year? Gold hit an all-time high today, $2,800 plus per ounce. $2,800 an ounce. It's gone up $800 this year. Wow. What do you think of the banking system? What do you think of the dollar? What do you think of the finance? Now, I've got good news for you. The idea of Trump bringing in Elon Musk, not just to cut government personnel and jobs and bullshit, but spending. It is now being supported by the likes of, everyone. Everyone who doesn't have a government job where they shine a leather seat with their big fat asses. They want to cut government and cut spending. Bring spending under control. So there is a budget surplus. And there is also now discussion of not just eliminating income tax and replacing it with proper constitutional tariffs to support government, but this, removing the Federal Reserve altogether. What does it do besides create booms and busts? Boom and bust. They get everyone sucked into the market, then they cut the rug out and steal all their fucking money. That's what the Federal Reserve does, not to mention reducing the value of the United States Federal Reserve note, reducing it from $1 to 1 penny. It's worth 1 penny. They've stolen the value out of the dollar. Crazy business, folks. Crazy business. Chance favors the prepared mind. Is yours. I'll see you guys 0 dark 30.